How do we truly measure the final cost of human conflict when the real numbers themselves vanish into the fog of history? When historians compile lists of history's most devastating conflicts, they face a staggering challenge because large battle casualty counts are usually impossible to calculate precisely. To provide the closest estimation, these figures display numbers for all types of casualties when they are available. But is it enough to look at soldiers alone, or must we look deeper? The modern lists we rely on today include both sieges and civilian casualties during battles. To understand how military historians map out these devastating events, we must examine the strict boundaries of their research. For instance, the compiled list of historical battles does not include bombing campaigns or massacres, focusing instead on direct military confrontations. However, the lines of war are frequently blurred. We know that individual tactical or strategic strikes may form part of larger engagements which are themselves classified as battles. This complexity forces researchers to constantly redefine where one conflict ends and another begins. To bring order to centuries of chaotic warfare, historians have structured their findings chronologically, meaning the comprehensive list of battles is sorted strictly by year. Within this timeline, researchers draw a clear distinction for classical formation battles. These specific events refer to battles in which opposing armies met on a single field of battle, facing each other in traditional military alignments. This structured definition helps isolate the immense loss of life during structured ancient and medieval clashes before warfare changed forever. Time itself is a shifting variable when assessing the true horror of historic warfare. Because the durations of some operations are disputed, the resulting casualty numbers may differ significantly depending on which source a historian trusts. A prominent example of this historical conflict is the Battle of Moscow, which stands as an operation with a highly disputed duration. When the very days and weeks of an engagement are questioned, the final death toll becomes a moving target. Tracking these elusive numbers requires a vast library of investigative literature spanning decades of modern research. In 1971, the book Vietnam Su Luoc was written by Tran Truong Kim, offering a crucial perspective on Southeast Asian conflicts. Shortly after, in 1977, A Savage War of Peace was written by Alastair Horn to document regional struggles. This investigative momentum continued into the next decade when the book Wars of the Roses was written by Anthony Goodman in 1981, highlighting medieval British casualties. As the 20th century drew to a close, authors across the globe continued to publish vital accounts of historical devastation. In 1989, the book White Blood Red was written by Zhang Zhenglong, exposing Eastern military tolls. A few years later, in 1994, Mexico and the Spanish Conquest was written by Ross Hassig, detailing the Mesoamerican collapse. This was followed in 1995 when A History of Vietnam was written by Oscar Chupuis, adding another layer to our understanding of global conflict. The massive scale of World War II required specialized, highly focused investigation to uncover the true combat losses. In 1997, the groundbreaking book Soviet Casualties and Combat Losses in the 20th Century was written by G. F. Kribashev, offering official statistical clarity. This was quickly paired with further military analysis in 1998, when the book When Titans Clashed was written by David M. Glantz. Together, these two works exposed the staggering, nearly incomprehensible loss of life on the Eastern Front. At the turn of the century, historical investigation exploded with a wave of major releases. In 2000, The Balkan Wars, 1912–1913 was written by Richard C. Hall. The year 2001 saw an unprecedented surge in documentation, as Das Deutsche Reich in der Defensive was written by Horst Boog, Gerhard Krebs, and Detlef Vogel. Simultaneously, Hitler vs. Stalin was written by John Erickson, and the historic volume A History of the Marathas was written by James Grant Duff in 2001. By the mid-2000s, researchers expanded their focus to both the beaches of Normandy and the ancient Americas. In 2004, the book Eyewitness D-Day was written by Dennis Jangreco, Catherine Moore, and Norman Polmar. This was followed in 2005 by Battle, which was written by R. G. Grant. That very same year, the book 1491, New Revelations of the Americas Before Columbus was written by Charles Mann, transforming how we perceive pre-Columbian population losses. The task of compiling massive wars required monumental encyclopedic efforts. In 2005, the Encyclopedia of World War I was edited by Spencer Tucker. The next year, an account of the Last Battle of Panipat was written by H.R.G. Rawlinson in 2006. By 2007, general readers received the Chronicle of War written by Paul Brewer, alongside the Library of Congress World War II Companion written by Margaret Wagner, D. M. Kennedy, L. B. Lasborn, and S. Rayburn in 2007. Modern scholarship finally brought sharp clarity to both ancient and 20th century conflicts. The year 2009 saw a wave of publications, including D-Day, The Battle for Normandy written by Antony Beevor, A Global Chronology of Conflict written by Spencer C. Tucker, and D-Day in Photographs written by Andrew Whitmarsh. Adrian Goldsworthy followed in 2010 with Antony and Cleopatra. Finally, in 2016, was written by Volynykov, sealing the modern record of wartime sacrifice. Returning to our opening question of how we measure history's bloodiest costs, modern researchers now utilize highly specialized datasets. Today, there are public lists of death tolls, casualties of the Iraq War, and casualties of conflict specifically from 2003 to 2011. Furthermore, we maintain distinct lists of wars by death toll and United States military casualties of war. While we may never calculate ancient or medieval losses with absolute precision, these modern records ensure that the true price of conflict is never entirely forgotten. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.